My statement is I'm glad we won the game. Was it?
Before we get into the game, you were nominated for the Naismith Hall of Fame. I know you probably hadn't had time since you've been zoned into it, but what does that mean to you?
It means a lot to me because, I didn't really get to retire properly in the fashion that I wanted to. Watching all these other guys, when they retire, they have a farewell season, all that type of stuff, whatever. So to be nominated, it just made me feel good. It took me back down memory lane, and just definitely thankful for that opportunity.
Penny, you guys did a really good job on Sharp, but Desi Jones, another one of those small guards that you've had trouble with, just seemed like he was out hustling everybody on the floor and was giving you guys fits.
Yeah, he wanted it more. You have to respect a young man that comes out and puts it all out on the line. He didn't care about Memphis or who he was playing against. He wanted to show that he belonged, and he did. So kudos to him for coming out and really competing from the very beginning of the game until the end.
Penny, is there any one or two things that has you frustrated right now?
Not competing and no energy.
Did you sense that early on, or?
Yeah, we can notice it right away. I mean, in the beginning of the game, in the first couple plays, we went high-low, got what we wanted. Then there was like a 5-minute stretch there that we just kind of lost interest. Our whole flow is dictated on if we score or not. And we're trying to shake that because, understandably, we got all scorers. We don't have defensive-minded guys on our team. We can put spurts together, but they came from programs where they scored. So when they're not scoring, they don't feel like they belong. So they might get into like a lull or something there for a minute, and then it just kind of gets boring to them.
Is this kind of like, sorry, one more. Is this kind of like an accumulation of the Vanderbilt game and this game that has you kind of in a bad mood?
We can't get over the hump to be professional enough to come out and compete. Like he said, Desi Jones came out and competed more than anybody, harder than anybody. That's embarrassing to me as a coach for someone to be out hustling us, out scrapping us on our home floor in front of our fans who pay money to come and watch us play.
You just said a minute ago that your team lost interest pretty early on in the first half there. How do you think a team gets to that point?
Wanting to score. That's how, if you're not scoring, then you don't feel like you should rebound or whatever. I mean, we played a hard schedule for 9 games. We played 9 really good games in a row. And guys had to defend or else we were going to get blown out. Now they're looking down on teams and feeling like, well, if I'm not scoring, then we're going to win the game anyway, and I'm not as interested. So you can see it, and I need to figure that out.
Are you concerned that can be a consistent problem as you get in the conference play and you're facing a lot of teams that are looking at you guys as, hey, this is the team to beat. This is the game that's going to more or less define our season.
Yeah, it's already a problem. It happened in Vandy game, and I'm not disrespecting Vandy. They were 4-7, and then even though Austin Peay can compete, we didn't have the fight. All you want is the fight. It don't matter if you miss every shot. You just want the fight. We're not getting the fight every possession, and I'm seeing a trend now, back-to-back games.
Along those same veins, it seemed like you had some decent ball movement for like first maybe 4.5 minutes or so, and then it just disappeared. At this point, what can be done to like flip that switch on? Because you've talked about it openly before. I'm assuming.
Yeah, it don't have to be musical chairs, which is not fun to do. If you don't give the extra pass, then you get subbed. That'd be every 30 seconds. You just hope these guys just kind of understand how the city feels about the team. The success we're having. Don't let it start to separate us because you see other guys getting headlines. And that's the only thing. We can only have self-inflicted wounds to hurt ourselves in this situation.
Hey, 2 parts. On Tomlin, how close he's getting to playing with the chemistry and what do you think of his play today? And Mills seemed like he wasn't himself and he didn't play in the second half. So what's the deal with him?
Yeah, Naquan had 14 rebounds. Oh, I'm sorry, 15 rebounds. That's phenomenal. 15 points, 15 rebounds in 23 minutes. And he's still getting accustomed to what we're doing. His talent is just, is what it is. It does hurt us a little bit because he doesn't know all the plays, so we can't run stuff that we want to run. But he makes up for it with hustle. And he had 3 block shots as well. So he's showing his toughness and him wanting to be a part of something special. Caleb has been hurt all season, and then got hurt again tonight. That's just where he is right now, Caleb.
Penny, usually you can get things fixed in practice. You told me before the game that the first practice back from the holiday was one of the best practices you've had. So obviously they didn't take that into this game. So what can be done in practice for the setup for the next games you play? Because obviously, as somebody alluded to, you're going to be favoring just about every one of those.
Yeah, that's something that I'm going to have to figure out. I mean, they respond to me in practice, and then they get in the game and they get on their own agenda. It happens all the time. Every year it happens on every team because, again, they start reading the clippings, and if they don't see their names in it, you can have a problem with that, And unfortunately, it seeps into every good team, and you have to stop. I have to figure out a way to stop it.
Coach in the back. In this game, we also had Hansel Emmanuel, and you were kind of part of his recruiting process early on. I just wondered what it was like for you to kind of see him play in a college game.
Special. He's a wonderful young man. I hugged him before the game, hugged him after the game. What a success to see him even out there competing at a high level. And every game you watch him, he's out there making things happen in a positive way. And that just shows you his heart, man. And I was really sincere about recruiting him and wanting him to be here and being a part of his story. So I'm definitely happy to see that Coach Hamilton kept that going and that he's with those guys. He's with a group of great guys that respect him and are putting him on the floor.
Is Caleb's is his situation different from what it was against Vanderbilt when he was sick, I guess? Did he get hurt with
He
something
hurt his hip
tonight?
He said he hurt his hip and couldn't go. He's already been battling tendonitis. Caleb is a warrior. He's been battling tendonitis, and that tendonitis definitely hurts. And then he hurt his hip. And I just think because he felt like we're going to win the game, they probably don't need me tonight. I'll just go ahead and sit it out instead of making it worse. And that's what he did.
And then I was just going to see if you had updates on J.J. Taylor and Jordan Brown.
I do not have any updates on those guys. Sorry.
Penny, you mentioned obviously your team's lack of engagement at times, and I know you're more of a laid back, right? Like not too expressive. You're not jumping up and down on the sidelines, but what are some things you've tried? Like what are some buttons you've tried to push to get them back locked in, and what are some things you hope to try in the future?
Well, in practice, no one sees me in practice. That's when I really do all the dirty work, honestly. And then in film doesn't lie. You're watching film, you're being brutally honest with the guy. He has to see that, and then he has to, say to himself, that's not right. I have to do better, and then go out there and do better. If you don't do better, then it's my job not to put you in the game until you do better, because everybody has that responsibility and has to be accountable for their own actions. But in practice, I'm much more harsher. That's why in the games I'm laid back, because I've already done the work. And if you're not going to do it, then you just get subbed and someone else do it. We just got to find 5 guys. We haven't been able to find 5 guys that can do it. We need 5 guys that want to do it. Then it makes it easier to sit the guys who aren't willing to do it.
How tough of a balance is that between giving a guy a long leash when you know he can produce on the offensive end versus kind of tightening up things when a guy's not rebounding or defending or whatever you want him to do?
Yeah, there's definitely a fine line with that, because you don't want to, put yourself in a situation where your best offensive player might be your worst defensive player, and then you're constantly yanking them out, and then you don't get the points. You just got to keep teaching, and I'm going to keep teaching. I mean, come on, we're 11-2. It's not like we're 2-11. We're just trying to figure these things out before it comes back to bite us, and I think everyone sees it. So, again, we're being very honest. Anyone that's in our locker room knows, and these guys just have to step up. I think they want to do the right thing. I'm gonna say they're going to do the right thing. we just have to get it done because there's going to be some guys in the locker room that's going to start to get frustrated with it and start saying something. As long as I'm the only one saying it, probably not going to change as quickly. Need the teammates to start saying some things as well.